रूपं रूपविवर्जितस्य भवतो ध्यानेन यत्कल्पितम् श्रुत्या अनिर्वचनीयता किल गुरो दूरीकृता यन्मया ज्ञात्वित्वं च निराकृतं भगवतो यतीर्थयात्रादिना क्षन्तव्यं जगदीश यद्विकलदा दोषत्रयं मत्कृतम्. A little bit funny shlokam. It's composed somewhere in the 16th century by a person called Ape Dikshita. And this guy says, I've committed 3 kinds of mistakes. During my meditation, I have meditated upon you with different forms. One who is formless, I have meditated with various forms. And I have, by reciting various stotras, shlokas, Vedas, I have glorified thee with words, who is beyond words. The last thing, what I have done is, I have gone to various pilgrimages, various places. One who is everywhere, I have limited you to various pilgrimage places. So I have committed these 3 mistakes. So please forgive me, Lord.
Amen. Yeah.
It's really a funny slokam and also very interesting. Once you look at it, when I first read this, when I was around about 20 or something, I was really laughing. How his brain is working. This man's brain is working.
Very true, very true. And I'll tell you, this path of spirituality, or what we call a sadhana, practice, anyone on this path understands how the refinement of our understanding matures. If you compare your own notes 20 years back or 10 years back, or when you started on understanding this truth in your own inquisitive way, you start realizing that even if you are reading the same book, let's say you have read a scripture, let's say Bhagavad Gita, for the first time 10 years back, first time, same shloka. When you contemplate, when you practice, when you imbibe in your own self as your own truth, and then go back to it, it confers a deeper meaning. And sometimes someone who understands truth or who abides in truth, for him to come to a level of a person who is not able to understand anything can be a hard task, because what you think everyone knows that. I'll give you an example. When you, as a professor, as a teacher, you go to teach, you teach different level of people. You teach people who just entered into medical school as first year, third year. Then you teach some junior doctors. Then you teach advanced trainees. Then you teach GPs. Then you teach your own colleagues about something in which you are more expert than them. And the teaching differs, because you have to start where the person is. You can't just start talking. That is why Bhagavan keeps saying again and again that it is for a mature seeker, Vedanta, non-duality, or self-inquiry. It's not that he's trying to bring everyone down, because it is just a process. Wherever you are in process, whoever you meet, that person or that teacher or that teaching has to teach you at that level. And then you move forward, and then you understand things unfold. So it is also very mystical thing, all practice, sadhana, in this journey. It is so interesting, like the way Neelakantanji just said this shloka. Now, this person who is saying he made three mistakes, that means at some level he was taking these three things as most important. That is the reason why now he thinks he made a mistake. Same thing with us. Our understanding gets deepened and deepened. People have so many different thoughts or concepts about awakening or self realization. And that concept has to go. And, and that goes by your own sadhana, your own practice. When we practice, this knowledge which is within us unfolds. That self is there, which is its own teacher. Our guru is self, and we are self, and self teaches self only. So this journey is within, as if you're trying to go back to the source. You are already the source. But to know that you are already the source, you have to take some steps. You have to take a practice. And when we take practice, then things just start unfolding. Practice is more important than reading scriptures or doing anything. Because practice is to just stay here. Stay in your heart. I'll tell you a beautiful thing said by one of my fellows, a junior doctor. We talk about life and he said to me very beautiful thing today. Because sometimes people are so shrewd and cunning and too smart that the way they act in front, there is some hidden agenda behind, and then when things open up, then it's something completely different. And we were talking in context of a recent research fraud on the basis of which all research on Alzheimer's disease is going on for so many years. And now we found that one of these scientists actually was just making up. He was doing pictures. Now the forensic experts and everyone has found that that was fraud on basis of one wrong study to come with a potential new drug for Alzheimer's disease, for dementia. Hundreds of studies have been done, so everything has gone into wrong direction just by greed of someone for name, for fame, that he knows something which others don't know. And my fellow, he said such a beautiful thing. He said, sometimes I wonder why my mind is not just simple. He said, sometimes I pray that mind should not be that complicated and intricate, just simple mind, an innocent mind, who even wants to do something too smart, too cunning, can't do, unable to do, unable even to think to do. How beautiful that would be. And that's what all spirituality is all about. Grounding yourself, coming to that entity which does not have to fake anything, does not have to make up anything, does not have to show anyone anything, which gives up its personality, completely takes away the mask, persona. And we carry so many different personalities in different circumstances, in different type of people. Our motive keeps changing, and sometimes we don't keep the motive in front of other. We give a very different picture, and then when the person is completely absorbed in what we are saying, then we give that think that I need from you this thing or I want this thing from you, Like we say, there are no free lunches. We should come to that purity where we only believe in free lunches. We give free lunches. We don't expect anything from anyone. Nowadays, even if you call someone, they will ask, what do you want from me? Or, everyone is more, everyone thinks that our transactions are business like, give and take. And that pure awareness takes us where there is no take, it is only giving. And there is no other, even to think that I'm helping others. This thought doesn't come. Help can happen through the body to another body. But this thought never comes that I am helping others. Or worse than that, that I have to go and help others today. That is really bad. If you ask anyone, the whole world will be up against me. They will say, that is the best thing. You have to help others. And if this thought is coming, it is such a good thought. But this thought itself is dividing you into ego mode, taking you into ego mode, and feeling pity on others as if you have to help others, as if that absolute God has forgotten his role and we have to come out to teach God what he is unable to do. And also as if we are very powerful and we can help others, that God has missed the opportunity, and now I am taking that opportunity. All this is ego only. Any act done through ego, even good, might be good for others but bad for us. It will keep that ego intact. This whole life is at stake for a seeker. Then only he can taste the bliss. Because this life itself is complex, taken from the egoistic mind. But the moment we give up this instrument called mind, then the life is bliss. Then what we are. And for this, in real sense, we don't have to do anything. Just come back to our original undifferentiated state, in which we are just awareness. Pure consciousness, without any form. And when Neelakantan ji was saying about this man who was saying he has made 3 mistakes the way he was treating God, I would say he has done 4 mistakes. One is why he's treating God as separate. The best sadhana, best practice is that you are that only. Behave as if you are that. Start behaving like that only. Because everything is in that self. Self is the source of everything. No one is separate. No other. As that undifferentiated pure awareness. Be the silent witness. Conserve your energy. No you, no me. No difference. Bring energy from mind to the source, your heart. What is meant by moving your energy from mind to heart? Simply that you are having more space, not that ongoing train of thoughts, one after other. Don't serve any purpose except propagating this journey indefinitely. When no thought, when you're not engaging in thoughts, then you touch your own stillness. And in that very stillness, we know that I am that pure awareness. And then this mistake of I am the body goes away. This I am the body goes away, immediately you are that another body goes away. I goes away, you goes away. What is left is only love. Love, what we call as love in day to day dealing, is not love. It is only liking, which can change any day to disliking. When our motive is gone, when our transaction is over, when we are not getting anything from the other person, that love turns to hate. That is only business. But in that absolute awareness, there is only giving. And giving in both directions. Giving to the word and giving to the God, if there is any absolute. Giving love, devotion to that, and service to the word, because there's only thing left is giving. There is no receiving mode. Receiving mode is only in ego. Only ego knows how to receive, how to take. In giving also, it wants to receive. It wants to invest $2 and wants to get back $10. And so it needs help of networking, mind, connections, cunningness, diplomacy. But in giving, you don't need anything. And awareness has something which is infinite. That is love, unconditioned by anything. So it can keep giving it because it has so much. That is the only thing it has. It cannot discriminate between a human being or an animal or a plant or an object. For it, everything is in that self. Discriminating power is only in mind. Awareness has no clue. And so there is so much of peace. Awareness is not busy in thinking, analyzing, criticizing, differentiating, liking, disliking, judging, nothing. Therefore, there is so much of Shanti, Param Shanti. Even in the midst of chaos, it's not thinking about anything. And then see a person in midst of any activity, how anxious he or she can be. And then comes train of thoughts because completely dependent on mind. So much so that one can get a panic attack. That is the other extreme end. And most of the people are in middle, using the mind all the time with some pauses in between. And Sage has given up this tool. He is completely dependent on Absolute. Bhagavan was very, very dependent on Absolute in every sense. If food used to come, he used to eat. If it doesn't come, he's not eating. But not also complaining. That is perfect surrender. Once we have agreed to surrender, then there cannot be a complaint. Complaint means that we have not surrendered. And complaint means we are unhappy. And complaints mean there is duality. Let's say if you are the only one who is manifesting in everything, and you are responsible for this whole show, whatever is happening, good people, bad people, people even criticizing you or praising you, but you know this all is sprouting out of you. If you are the only soul responsible, then whom would you complain? Understand this truth. If you are in charge of everything and it is all manifesting from you, then whom would you complain? About what? Even in the worst person in this world, there is beauty, there is innocence, and there is purity. He might not know, but you will know if you know yourself, because that same self abides in everyone. They say, sages say, beautiful thing. If the worst person, most criminal minded person in this world, the day he turns his eyes towards the self, you should accept him as a sage. Worst among the worst person, the day he turns within and looks within, that day itself you should accept him as a sage. It is all about your perception, your yatra, your journey. Which direction are you going? Are you externally moving your energy, or you're moving your energy within? If you move your energy within, you will find that eternal wisdom within you. But you take one step in and two steps out, then it will never happen. It will be back and forth. But with that intensity, with longing, when you do your practice, trying to be attentive to self, then after some time it becomes so natural. Technical people, professional who are doing any task, if someone sees it from outside, it looks so difficult. But people have done it for 10, 20, 30 years. It is so easy for them. Same is this abiding in self. You practice, you stay here. And then one day it becomes so natural. You don't have to keep practicing. Practice drops. Practice continues till you're not there. Heart is the source of energy. All energy is here, that pure self. If we stop projecting it outwardly, then it is what it is. An outward projection is only because of our interest in outside things. If you're disinterested, energy will stay where it is. Bhagavan never moved. He never moved from that abidance which he had at the age of 16. And he actually symbolically never moved from Arunachala. He stayed there only. Remember, you are purest of pure. And all information is within you, all knowledge is within you. All scriptures are spoken by people who have realized their own self. Once you realize yourself, you can write or you can speak hundreds of scriptures. These are the pure spoken words of people who have reached their heart and abided there. You reach now what someone has reached millions of years back. It is the same. Don't think the self has changed. The same self will be experienced, whether it is Jesus, Krishna, Rama, Buddha, or you. There is no hierarchy in knowing the self. I know some people are so attached to a particular form which has realized self that they think others are inferior to it. It's not true. The moment you realize self, you are Buddha. Buddha means the one who knows. all people who realized self, they were just like you and me. With their practice, with their interest, they found it. You are next Buddha. You are Buddha in becoming. You are already there. You are unfolding. Flowering of that Buddha is happening within you. Only thing it needs is your attention, your interest, and it blossoms. When you touch your heart, you start dancing in ecstasy. There is so much of bliss within us because it is connected. When you reach here, you realize that you get connected to infinite source. Previously, you were miserable, you were looking for happiness. Now you're drowning in happiness. And you give that happiness to others, and it keeps getting more and more. You have touched the bliss, which is infinite. This fountain of infinite bliss is within us. You have just opened it. Opened how? By your own interest in this. This silent witness, awareness, pure self, tells you now that I am that supreme bliss. Embrace me. And if you believe, if you embrace, then you don't have to go outside for any bliss, any happiness, any peace. All desires disappear because all desires are for happiness. But when you have already found happiness within, which is unconditioned, which is independent of situation, then what is left to be done? What needs to be achieved? What needs to be done to achieve that? When you have already achieved it. If you analyze every human being, whatever they are doing, they are looking for happiness. It is like you are working hard to earn money, and one day you had a jackpot. Then why would you work if you were working only to get money? You already have money now. And this money you always had. This happiness is our eternal nature. It is always with us. But we never look within. Somehow, the way we are conditioned, our mind, society, people around us, everyone is running, running, running. You go on Federation Square, you can see everyone is running around. No one has time to even think why they are running. No one asks this question, who am I? Who is running? And why I am running? And people don't ask this question even on their deathbed. And they take their desires to next life. Simple trick, simple path, direct path. Abide in your stillness. Abide in the source. And then don't move. Stay home. Stay safe. We all are this nameless, formless awareness. Using this body. Body is conditioned by previous actions and their fruits, which we are reaping in form of whatever situation comes and goes. If you think you are reaping, then you are in ego mode. And if you are witnessing, then you are already free. Because witness is uninvolved. And if you are uninvolved, then whatever situation, it does not affect you. Whatever is situation, we can attain supreme bliss. If we move from person to presence mode. And if we are in person mode, even most pleasant situation we can make pathetic. Stop looking what others are doing, saying, acting, reacting. And then comes the second stage when you don't even bother about your own mind and thoughts and desires and feelings and emotions. You go further, recede in. Then you touch your own silence. Don't stay on the surface of this silence. Go further deep, dive deep into your own silence. First time you realize that you are this pure silence. All what we thought we are is all borrowed. borrowed from this word. This body, what you think you are, belongs to the word. Only sin is that we think we are this body, not realizing that we are that eternal, unchanging reality. Body is changing. We were there even before this body, and we will be there without the body. But if we think we are this body, then definitely we will suffer. Body goes through suffering, pain, disease, and then death. You are this pure awareness, which is independent of this body. Though body is dependent on it. If you leave the body, body will be called as dead body. And people will get rid of it ASAP. You are of prime importance. You are the essence. Recognize your true nature. Give away this superimposition of body on you. Understand you don't want anything from this world for happiness. The one who is looking for happiness in this world will surely suffer. Another important secret is whatever desire you have, no one in this world can fulfill all their desires. There is no guarantee. Even if you work hard for all desires, some will left unfulfilled, and some desires fulfilled will give rise to some sort of suffering. And it depends on so many other factors. But this desire to know yourself will always be fulfilled. And it is independent of your situation. It is independent of your prarabdha karma. It is independent of pap and punya. Only requirement is your interest in it. Self is our real guru. If you cannot trust anyone in this world on this path, at least trust yourself, your pure self. Be a devotee. Dissolve your ego in devotion to this self. And get rid of this duality. Only ego is duality. Ego gone. Only self is left. It's a big joke that we keep looking for this happiness, even as a spiritual seeker, going to pilgrimage or going and looking somewhere else. Doing so many rituals and other things. While we are that, even when we think we are not that, we are that. Even when we are in dream, waking dream, or we are in this illusion, we are still that. We have never ever lost even for a second, for a fraction of a second. Just like in dream, when we dream, we are still that body. We wake up and we see, yeah, I am this. Now comes this dream in waking. When this dream breaks, we know what we are. But during this waking dream, also, we are that. Give up your friendship with mind and be a devotee of self. And in no time, you will be free, free from the mind. Change your company. Move from mind to self. Mind is samsara. Mind is this whole world. And self is that pure, purest of pure, what we call as God. No need to know what others feel when they know God within. You should taste that fruit. Just be interested in your own self. We have played so many roles in our life and we are still playing so many roles. Now come to reality that you cannot play any role. Understand this truth. Mind will say, then I can't function. It is not your mind, it is your ego, your doership, which believes that if you don't have this doership, nothing will happen. But believe me, without doership, things will work 10 times more if they have to. This is the way mind keeps you in bondage. If you still don't believe on me, you go and speak to psychiatrists, speak to people who suffer from this mind. Ask them what is the problem. Severe depression, severe anxiety, schizophrenia, mania. What is it? It is only thoughts, it is only mind. You are playing with fire, and it is so easy to give it up. So easy. Who is a wise person who learns from others' mistake? Ask any sage, any liberated being in any part of the world, how is his mind? They can use different terms. Someone will say pure mind, no mind, beyond mind, passive mind. Bhagavan will say Mano Nasha, mind is destroyed, finished, no returning back. Nowadays, people use this term mindfulness. I don't have any clue where this term has come. A mind full will be disaster. We don't want this mind. No mind or empty mind, spaciousness in you. And because you have no doership, then the mind disappears. First, you have to correct yourself rather than correcting mind. You keep giving feed to the mind in form of desires, and then you think one day it will be empty. How? When you enter in your heart, you realize that there is no time. You are beyond time. There is no hurry for anything. Everything comes to stillness. And everything looks faint. And everything becomes blissful. And everything becomes one. We are this pure vibration which is in each every cell of this body. and beyond body, and in all bodies, and in all objects, what you call as animate and inanimate. Those objects will not know, but you will know because you are that. The best way to know all beings of this world, if you are a very social person, outgoing person, I would say you know yourself and you will know everyone, even without going anywhere. And you will know the truth. And you will be connected to everything. Simply by knowing yourself and staying there. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.